With the MLB only having a 60-game season this year, it's over as soon as it begun. In this video, we're going to take a look at the best players from the 2020 season, and I'm going to say who I think should win an award. Let's start out with the American League Manager of the Year. For each award, I'll give my top 3 nominees, and coming in third for this award is Bob Melvin of the Oakland Athletics. The A's finished first in the NL West this year and clinched the number 2 seed for the playoffs. This year was their first division title since 2013. Melvin has done a great job coaching the team, which had a great offense and an even better bullpen. Coming in second place is Rays manager Kevin Cash. Despite having the third lowest payroll in all of baseball, Kevin Cash led the 2020 Tampa Bay Rays to the best record in the American League and the number 1 playoff seed. The Rays have had injuries to a lot of their roster this year, and Cash has figured out how to be a winning team even through that. He definitely has a chance to win the award this year, but who I think should win it is Rick Renteria of the White Sox. Before this season, the Chicago White Sox had not made the playoffs since 2008. The White Sox this year have had one of the best offenses as well as an elite pitching staff. The team that finished 17 games below 500 last year improved to have 10 more wins than losses, even with a shortened season. Overall, Renteria has been a great coach who I think deserves the 2020 AL Manager of the Year. Moving on to the National League Manager of the Year, where finishing in third, I have David Ross. After a disappointing 2019 season, David Ross really turned the team around. Finishing first in the division is a great accomplishment, especially for a first-year manager. Ross has done a very good job managing the Cubs, which is why he gets the third place nod here. My second place pick is another first-year manager, Jace Tingler of the San Diego Padres. Coming into this year, the Padres did not have very high expectations, especially since they are in the same division as baseball's best team, the Dodgers. But San Diego ended up being one of the better teams in all of baseball. Tingler also brought in some big names at the trade deadline, but I don't think he's quite first place material for this award. The guy who I believe is first place material is Miami's coach, Don Mattingly. Prior to 2020, the Marlins only had 2 playoff appearances, which were back in 1997 and 2003. Many baseball experts and analysts picked Miami to finish last in the NL East this year. Not even 5 games into the shortened season, the Marlins had a COVID outbreak throughout the organization. Despite all of that, Mattingly still led his team to a second place finish in the division and a playoff berth. That is why Don Mattingly should win the 2020 National League Manager of the Year. Moving on to the Rookie of the Year award. Coming in third in the American League is Luis Robert. Heading into this season, many people had high hopes for Luis Robert. Finishing with 11 homers and 9 stolen bases in 60 games is not bad, especially for a rookie. While Robert could have done better than a .233 batting average, his defense was above average and the White Sox should definitely keep him in the lineup. Getting the second place nod for this award is Astros pitcher Christian Javier. Javier started 10 games this season and finished with an ERA of 3.48. He had a WHIP under 1 and a wins above replacement of 1.3. Christian Javier is just a first-year player who looks like he could be a reliable pitcher for the Houston Astros. My pick for the AL Rookie of the Year is Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis finished the season with 11 homers and 28 RBIs. His OPS plus of 129 is above average as well. Lewis was a big piece of the Seattle Mariners this season, and he should be a reliable outfielder for years to come. Moving on to the National League side. Coming in third for the NL Rookie of the Year is Alec Bohm. Bohm really had an underrated season for the Phillies this year. While he didn't hit for a lot of power, Alec Bohm did hit .338 with an .881 OPS. His defense wasn't great, but Bohm should definitely get some votes for this award. With a second place finish is Brewers relief pitcher Devin Williams. Williams was nothing but phenomenal this year. In 27 innings pitched, he posted a 0.33 ERA along with a 0.63 WHIP. His 17.7 strikeouts per 9 is unheard of for a pitcher. Devin Williams definitely has to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, but who I think deserves the award is Jake Cronenworth. Before this season, no one thought the Padres would be as good as they were, but a big part of their success is due to Jake Cronenworth. Cronenworth did slow down at the end of the season a little bit, but he still managed to put up some great numbers. He finished 4th in the National League in doubles and 3rd in triples. The Padres lefty looks like he could be an above-average third baseman for quite some time. The next award we're going to talk about is the American League Cy Young Award. Coming in third place is Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda was a solid pitcher for the Twins this year. He led the majors with a 0.75 whip and finished 9th in the league with a 2.7 ERA. His strikeout to walk rate was one of the best, and statistically, Maeda had a really great season in 2020. With the second place finish for AL Cy Young is Dallas Keuchel. His 1.99 ERA was 3rd in the majors, and he also had a whip of about 1.09. Dallas Keuchel had the lowest home run rate of any pitcher this year. Keuchel is also one of the better fielding pitchers out there and seems to be a reliable starter every year. And now for the without a doubt AL Cy Young, Shane Bieber. Bieber led the MLB in quite a few stats this season, including wins above replacement, ERA, wins, and strikeouts. It is impossible to pick against this guy for Cy Young. Bieber has just been one of the most dominant pitchers we've seen in a long time. Moving on to the NL, we're coming in 3rd as Dinelson Lamet. Lamet had a breakout season for the Padres this year. He struck out quite a few batters that he faced and threw for a 2.09 ERA over 12 starts. Lamet had a 0.85 whip, which was 3rd in the MLB and 2nd in the National League. Dinelson Lamet should definitely be a contender for National League Cy Young. Finishing in 2nd with an incredible bounce-back year, Yu Darvish. Darvish was great for the Cubs this year. He finished the season with an ERA just above 2 at 2.01. Yu Darvish finished in the top 5 in strikeouts to walk ratio, as well as accumulating a 2.6 WAR. He definitely had a solid season, but I don't think it was quite first place material. And before I crown the National League Cy Young, I want to mention Jacob deGrom and Max Fried as honorable mentions. Both of them were great pitchers, but there was a lot of competition in the National League, which is why they didn't have a top 3 finish. But coming in first is Red starting pitcher Trevor Bauer. Bauer led the National League in ERA with 1.73 and a whip which was 0.79. He also threw for 2 complete game shutouts, which is something most pitchers don't accomplish in a 162 game season, let alone 60 games. Overall, Trevor Bauer was a dominant pitcher this year who should definitely win the NL Cy Young. And the last award, but definitely not the least, is MVP. I'm going to start with the National League on this one, and finishing in 3rd is Juan Soto. After missing 13 games due to having the virus, Juan Soto still had an incredible start to the season. He was tied for most offensive WAR even despite that. Soto also led the majors in on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS, as well as finishing 2nd in batting average. Had this been a normal season, he definitely would win MVP, but since he missed 13 of 60 games, it's hard to give the award to Juan Soto. Coming in a close 2nd is Mookie Betts. According to Baseball Reference, Mookie Betts had the most WAR of any player in baseball. He hit 16 homers, had 10 stolen bases, and had one of the best power-to-speed ratios in the game. As well as batting .292 with a .927 OPS, Mookie was one of, if not the best, defensive outfielders. Mookie Betts is the exact definition of a 5-tool player and definitely deserves some votes for MVP. Before I get to first place, I want to acknowledge Manny Machado's great season. He played great for the Padres this year, but was not quite at the MVP level of play. And winning NL MVP is Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman was just a great player for the Atlanta Braves this year. He had a batting average of .341, an OPS of 1.102, and a league-leading 23 doubles. Freeman played in all 60 games and was 3rd in the majors in total bases. Overall, he was an offensive beast this year who, in my opinion, deserves to be the National League MVP. Moving on to the American League. Before I start talking about who should get MVP, I want to mention Shane Bieber. Bieber, in many people's eyes, should be the American League MVP, but since pitchers can win the Cy Young, I decided not to pick him for the MVP conversation. But finishing in 3rd for American League Most Valuable Player is DJ LeMahieu. In 2020, LeMahieu led the major leagues in batting average as well as leading the American League in OPS. He batted .364 and his OPS was 1.011. One of the great things about DJ is that he barely ever strikes out. This season he struck out 21 times in 50 games, but the fact that he missed 10 games in a shortened season is part of the reason that he's finishing in just 3rd. Coming in 2nd is Jose Ramirez. After a disappointing season in 2019, Ramirez was a lot better this year. He hit 17 homers, having the 2nd most extra base hits, having the 3rd highest power-to-speed ratio. Jose Ramirez had an OPS plus of 163 and really just had a great season for the Indians this year. And winning the AL MVP in 2020 is Jose Abreu. Abreu led the majors in RBIs and total bases this year. He had a .317 batting average and led the American League in slugging percentage and hits. With all of these great numbers, it was hard to pick anyone else for this award. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe so you never miss any videos just like this one.